Alright guys, here's my honest review of Diablo 4. It's good. Yeah, it's good. You want a more detailed breakdown? I mean, yeah, the drip. I think that's the right word young people use, right? It's amazing. Yeah, looks good. The aesthetic, the feel of everything is probably the biggest aspect of the game. It does feel more like Diablo 2 than Diablo 2. They did embrace the darkness, as they said. Here's my only real complaint with the game. I really don't know who this game is for. So, you know, I'm at level 59. I'm not at endgame yet, certainly not. But the itemization is sort of like Diablo 3. You are taking on legendary pieces as opposed to rune words and things like that to gear up your character. There are a couple uniques and things like that you can find, but mainly you're going to be using these legendary affixes to gear up your character. My problem is this feels like the new Star Wars that came out. When they came out with Force Awakens, it was kind of like, yeah, they made a good movie. It was good. Who is this movie going to be for? And it was all based on sort of setting up the next movie, just like the original Star Wars was. Well, it needs to be Empire level to pull off what you've done in the first act. And instead, we got The Last Jedi, which was objectively awful, and fight me on that. This game sort of feels like that. Well, you can farm Hell Tides if you played WoW. That's exactly where they took that from. You can farm dungeons and do all the things like you did in Diablo 3. The open world aspect does add a little bit more of a nuance to it, and it is very cool. But this sort of feels like Project Diablo 2 for Diablo 3, which is a good thing. It's sort of like Diablo 3 as it was meant to be played. It's sort of like an apology tour. The problem is, I think that they have made a game, or had an idea for it, and when you have a big market game like this, you can either appeal to casual gamers with like an ARPG like this, you can sort of appeal to the more hardcores, or you can appeal to the super tryhards, and I don't think this game really knows who it's appealing to. And what I'll use as an example is like attack power. This is like a general rating of what you're doing, right? But all of the Reddit posts I see about this are people complaining, saying they don't really know how the items affect things because they don't want to read things. It's a little more complex. Like this bow, for example, is absolutely amazing because of the damage to close enemies on it. Well, that's not really going to show up in my attack power rating because, well, that's not counted. And moreover, when you get to level 60 or whatever and you start on your Paragon tree, I mean, just look at this. I love this. This is honestly awesome. This is the very cool thing to add, but it is a little bit complex with how you have to add and think about the boards. And it's like they sort of, even more than saying this feels like the new Star Wars, this feels like Alien 3 to me. I hate to be so particular about movies, but I like movies. And if you're not familiar with the series, Alien is phenomenal in the horror genre. It sort of created the sci-fi horror genre. Aliens literally spawned its own genre with the sci-fi action horror. And then we got Alien 3, which was David Fincher's first sort of foray into movies. And if you know David Fincher with Seven or basically anything he's done since then has been phenomenal. But it was his first movie. He was a commercial director before that. And he had a great idea of overlaying sort of religious symbolism into Aliens and reworking all the themes that it had previously built on. And then Fox got involved. And they ruined his vision. And they absolutely destroyed it. It is the worst example of studio interference in movies, in my opinion, because it took what was probably going to be the greatest epic in the science fiction genre and turned it into a very forgettable experience. That's sort of what they can do with Diablo 3 or 4. It will either be genre defining or it's going to fail. And right now, what they've given us is this sort of first little intro movie. And we kind of have to see and wait for season 1 to figure out what they're going to do. I really don't have a problem with the issues people are talking about. Grinding renown is not that hard. I have not done the full grind, but 4 Paragon points is a lot. But that's really endgame stuff. It was incredibly easy to get the extra skill points, which is all you really need for leveling. The Hell Tides are nice. You have so many different farming methods. This is exceptional. It really is. It's not to the level of PD2 with maps, but we'll see where it goes. And that's kind of how I feel about it. We have to see what comes next. And for now, though, has this been worth it? Yes. Will it fill my Project Diablo 2 time? Yes, absolutely. But every aspect of this game either is great or good. Nothing is exceptional or elite, and nothing is really bad. And that's fine if your whole plan was to make a game that so many people would play, you'd make a lot of money. but I just don't know who this game is for at this point. Is it for the casuals, or is it for the tryhards? And I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. So, that is the most honest review I can give of this, and I don't want to go into any more depth than that because I think that's sufficient. Go get it, try it out for yourself. It is worth the purchase price, and I am having a blast with it. Whether it lasts until August, we'll see. See you guys later.